That was bad. Hold on. Actually, it'll be fine. Right. Yeah.
I like how you always do this late. It's just like a thing now.
Okay.
All right, go off.
Hey, folks. We're back after a month-long hiatus. Summer doing summer things, you know. People out of town, schedule things come up. And it's harder to lock people down, but you know what? Mason's back from his vacation.
Let's go.
We're feeling rejuvenated. We're ready to go, and we're excited for this summer season. Well, I mean, it's still the same season. We were talking about this earlier. It's still the same season, but I guess the season of summer within the same season.
Yes.
Today we're talking about a director who surprisingly hasn't come up. Well, I mean, we've mentioned him in passing, but we haven't. We discussed him on the what was it?
The
bracket.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But we haven't done a review, which is crazy. Or a discussion.
Yeah.
And it's David Lynch, of course.
Let's go.
One of the premier American auteur directors.
Really ever. I was gonna say like of recent, but really ever definitely.
But I'm gonna let Mason take this away because he's the one who put me onto Twin Peaks, and he's sort of the expert of this topic. So if you want to,
I think we first need to say
intro.
like spoilers.
Well, what? I mean, they can see the title, but I guess we should like.
Yeah.
Tell them what
So
the movie is.
we're good. We're talking about Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, which is a 1992 film, which is set before the events of the first two seasons of Twin Peaks, but it was made after. A little bit confusing, but yeah, definitely spoilers.
Just think Star Wars.
Yes, that is a good point. Definitely spoilers like for the first two seasons of the show, and obviously the film. So if you don't want to know what happens, stop listening.
You've got a lot of homework to do if you want to like not get anything spoiled.
You'll be coming back to the pod in like 7 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really know where to start. I mean, like I'm interested. We haven't really talked about it like after watching it. We did very like
we discussed it
shortly.
I feel like it's hard to discuss just this without discussing the show at all. But
yes. So for those that don't know, Twin Peaks as a show is very campy and zany.
It's very Lynch, like
yes, but it's not Lynch being dark or scary. It's Lynch being like silly,
tongue in cheek
and stupid, and it's like making fun of like soap operas, and there's serious moments, but it really does feel like a show that you can point to and just laugh at. You know what I mean? Like that. I feel like that's like definitely the biggest thing going for it.
But it definitely takes a thematic turn towards I don't know. I guess you could say season 2, right? Or because when you're watching the show, it feels not like a conventional murder mystery, but there's a little bit of like the Lynchian weirdness and like
definitely.
You got the Red Room and stuff that shows up later on, but you don't really. I certainly didn't anticipate the themes that sort of came to surface in late season 2, and then once we find out who the killer is, who Bob is,
Bob.
Yeah. I feel like it becomes a completely different show, having the knowledge that you're presented with. It makes you look at things entirely differently. And
after the film, you mean,
no,
or just
after just the end of season
the
2,
reveal and stuff.
So and then Fire Walk with Me just takes that and runs with it.
Yeah.
And like this, in my opinion, this is Lynch like in his bag. This is Premier Lynch.
This is the thing that Lynch was born to do.
Yeah. So
like you can see like his whole career kind of leading up to this moment in a lot of ways, I feel like, and like they set the reins free and he just like did whatever he wanted to.
I guess my initial impressions, first of all, I'll start with the first 20 minutes because that really, I feel like with every Lynch, I kind of have to like give myself a minute to just like settle in.
Yes.
Because there's always weird stuff, whether it be visually. The editing always kind of throws me, and like the breaks in between dialogue, like
yes, and just the dialogue.
Because we have a lot of discussions about like, does Lynch know what he's doing?
Yes,
and he obviously does, but like, it really tests my patience sometimes.
It's tough, and even me, like I think like when I tell people like, hey, this is a David Lynch film, it's gonna be weird, and even my like expectations and stuff going into his film is like, okay, this is gonna be weird, but then you put it on and it's like, oh, this is like way worse than I thought it was gonna be. Like way weirder.
But it also, the first 20 minutes almost feels like a student film. Like we were talking about the re-record mixing where it was just so roomy and it like sounded bad. Mm-hmm. And then
and the writing is like
some of the lines were not terrible.
Really?
And then there's that weird line where Kiefer Sutherland repeats the same line like twice.
Well, there's also the dude like in the bar that says the same thing twice too.
Oh yeah,
and
but
it's
that's
really
a Lynch thing. Yeah,
it's just really like you're kind of questioning like, what is he going for here? What does this mean? Why is this really weird?
It was really just the dialogue, the breaks in dialogue, and like the pauses and the editing that got me in it. It just sometimes this stuff feels like a student film, and you have to see it through.
But even the character, like the character of like Chet Desmond and the Kiefer Sutherland character,
because I thought that was going to be the movie with them.
Yeah, no, I did too when I first watched it.
I was like skeptical, but then you hit Twin Peaks and it's sort of back to the status quo of the show, but you can tell it's different, and it's fantastic.
And the weird, it's one of those like. It's one of those Lynch non-linear things. We never go back to those characters,
and that's brilliant. I think
we
need
what
to.
Happened to Kiefer? We don't know.
I still feel like it's really important that it's set up like that, though.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
That first 20 minutes is important. The first thing that struck me once we got back to Twin Peaks was that like Laura was always characterized as this very sweet girl who, like, people found out. I don't know if her friends knew about, well, obviously Donna knew about her like coke addiction and like the drinking and stuff.
But I think it was like only.
But it seems like
basically.
Some people people really didn't know that at all. And in watching this, I feel like it was almost impossible not to see that Laura was very depressed and that she was like on a very fast decline and that she needed a support system that evidently wasn't there for her. So
it adds so much watching the show because you watch the show and you're like, oh, this actually was a good person.
No,
and I'm not saying she's not a good person, but there was a lot. The Onion really.
Yeah. Lynch wrote a very, very excellent tragic character in Laura. Like, and oh gosh, I need the
such a good character.
Yeah, Cheryl Lee, shout out.
Yeah,
her performance was fantastic.
I think everyone's in agreement. Like, she like holds down the film.
She was amazing.
Very easily. Like.
And Leland Ray Wise brought it too. He's always fantastic. But especially Cheryl Lee though, because she made appearances as Laura's cousin in the show for like a little bit.
And then
of
she's like
kind
of in it.
Yeah, and like
just
some sort of flashbacks.
Yeah,
but
just like very short.
She has
scenes.
minimal screen time.
Very.
And then it is her movie.
Yeah,
and she brings it, man. So, getting to see, I don't know, her chops and also just like, how the trauma that she experienced at a young age set her on a trajectory that basically set her up to fail.
Yep.
And it's hard. The movie like questions, who bears responsibility, how much of it, if you experience trauma like that, is it your fault how you respond and how, I guess, you change because of it, or is that just, are you a product of your environment
Yeah.
or the circumstances that you're subjected to? So, I mean, there's a lot of great questions to be asked just about Laura's character. And then that's not even getting into the sexual abuse and stuff. Cause,
The, like, generational trauma. And
yeah.
stuff. Because, like, in the show, like, I don't know if you remember, but, like, I think the one-armed man, like, talks to Cooper and stuff, and they bring up that, like, this was happening to Leland and stuff. Like, it
No, I
was,
didn't
like,
know that.
yeah, it was, like, it's continuing, like, down the pipeline and
Interesting,
stuff.
yeah.
And it's, like,
Wow.
it's, like, very, and it is really, like, I wrote about this, like, in my first, like, review, like, right after I first watched it, like, the days of the camp is still there, but the days of, like, the funny TV stuff is gone.
Mhm.
And I love that the first shot is, like, the TV static, and then it's just,
Explodes.
like, yeah, like a hammer just breaking the TV.
Mm.
I feel like it's
That
just,
is
like,
kinda
yeah,
meta,
it's
yeah.
like, bro, that, like, the TV stuff's gone.
He's
Like,
telling
this
you
is a film.
to chuck your expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, like, all of that's gone, but it's still very, like, it still has the overarching, like, corruption in, like, a small American town,
Mhm.
like, and Lynch, like, loves that dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's all Blue Velvet. That's, a lot of that is what Eraserhead is. Like, he loves, like, the small, like, little parts of America that are, like, corrupt, and I think he's, like, questioning,
he
like,
loves to
why
deep
they're
dive, yeah.
corrupt, and,
Mhm.
like, how can we fix this? Like, how did this happen? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I thought it was really interesting too that, like, you could probably deduce from the show, like, why Laura was doing the drugs that she was doing and drinking as much as she was, and, like, the name of the bar, or, like, the place is escaping me, where she worked at and she got kicked out.
Oh, One-Eyed Jacks?
One-Eyed Jacks, yeah. Why she worked there. And it, like,
Yeah.
when we heard about her, like, it didn't line up, but, like, knowing what we know about her and the trauma that she experienced, like, you know, obviously she was trying to numb herself because she was in so much constant pain. And, like, in several scenes we get to see this, especially after she figures out, you know, who Bob is. Like, when she's eating her cereal at breakfast, that scene's
That might
horrifying.
be, like, some of the best scenes.
Yeah.
But, like,
She's just trying to numb herself constantly because her
Yeah.
life is terrible.
Yeah.
And so, like, the question is, you know, like, can you blame her? How much of it is her fault, if at all? Even though, you know, obviously she's leading a destructive path and in some ways, you know, bringing others, like, in this circumstance, mainly just Donna down with her. But
it's an important question.
yeah.
And I think that's going to depend on each person.
And then, yeah, we haven't even gotten to, like, the angel stuff yet, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, we got to wait on that.
Yeah. But,
No,
like, this is just the surface stuff. We're not even getting into the themes.
I mean, talking about, like, when she figures out that, like, her dad is doing this, and, like, the cut between Bob and Leland,
yeah.
like, in
Pretty
the bed and
horrifying,
stuff,
yeah.
that's one of the most just, like, gut-wrenching, like,
And you
sequences
can't-
ever.
That's the stuff that, like, there's the first 20 minutes of the movie where I'm questioning it's bad, if it's bad. And then you see Lynch firing on all cylinders
Yeah.
towards the middle and end of this movie, and I feel like there's no questions left to be asked. Like,
Yeah.
he's in
that's
complete
why, like,
control the whole time, and he's very aware of what he's doing.
It's like
Always.
the first 20 minutes, you might not like it, but I do think that, like, he's going for something there. And this is something that I told you last night when we watched it. A lot of that first 20 minutes is answered in The Return. Which people, when they watched this in 92, they had no idea that season 3 was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So I can understand why it got booed at Cannes and stuff.
I don't know how you boo this, though. It's a...
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, I don't understand that part of it, I guess. But I think, like I told you, a lot of people were upset that it was a prequel. But it's a stroke of genius. It's a stroke of genius.
As opposed to a sequel? Did they want to see... Did they want to see Cooper?
They want to figure out what happened to Cooper.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Which makes sense. But it's like...
It's way more interesting if left unresolved, especially, like, yeah. I don't know.
Definitely.
The only loose end of the show is that part about Cooper. The rest of it resolves itself. It doesn't merit its own movie.
Also, I think it's very interesting that ABC made Lynch reveal who the killer was
after like the first episode, right? Well, no, that was the
like the international pilot,
Yeah.
but like
was that ABC or is that no? Because
I don't know.
ABC's American.
But I know that like later on in season 2, we figure out that it's a Leland because of ABC, and if that hadn't happened, we would have never gotten this film. And who knows how the show would have ended?
Yeah, it's true.
Like it's kind of like
I mean, they could have revealed it in the show in the movie, which would have been crazy.
I mean, yeah.
If they revealed
yeah,
that,
would have been crazy.
If they revealed
but like
that, movie,
but without that being revealed, Lynch doesn't step away, and who knows how long the show goes on.
But the themes, like it really, from a dramatic standpoint, it's probably more interesting if we don't know that it's Leland. But he's able to do so much more with, like delivering the message that he's trying to convey to people about abuse.
It's like almost a good thing that ABC did that, which is really
because
weird.
how would you do that if it was still like who is Bob?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you could be like anybody could be Bob, and that's the whole thing about like
that's like
abuse and yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It's interesting to me because that definitely like changed the trajectory of like all of the lore and everything behind it.
Also, like in the show, before you find out it's Leland, you just you chalk it up to him grieving. I think that's what in Laura too with.
That's so genius though.
Yeah.
Because you never think that it's Leland because you're like, oh, the mom and dad are acting weird because they just lost their daughter.
Yeah, and Leland goes through all those weird fits, and he's, but it's pretty apparent.
But when you watch it back, it's like. Yeah, no duh, it's this guy. Like he's definitely like changing and going back and forth and stuff. But yeah, I love that. I don't know if you know this, but the part after the first 20 minutes is the last 7 days of her life. It's the last week.
Oh, well,
like,
I didn't know that.
That's
really cool.
And it's like the number 7 and all that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like some of that, like definitely. It's also cool just because like. It's the last week, and it's one of those instances where it's kind of like the Star Wars thing, like Anakin, like change and stuff. Like you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there.
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
Oh my
it really
God.
is a tragedy. It's like it's the same. Yeah.
It's like exciting and sad, and like you can just
you
feel
want
it
to stop
coming.
it,
and then like when it happens, it's just like devastating. And that ending sequence is just
dude, the Requiem. Oh my gosh,
something else.
Yeah. Shout out to the music editor for. I mean, first of all, flowers to, Angela Badalamenti for, creating a classic score. It rules. I know it's like one cue in the show, but
the first season is like literally 2 cues.
Yeah,
and then
it's like, oh, this again.
Like gets a little bit more.
It's like, you're getting brainwashed with the score. At first, you're like, why does he keep playing it? And then by the end of season 1, you're like singing it.
It like really grows on you,
yeah.
Because in the film, like after that first like kind of prologue, it cuts to the Twin Peaks sign, and you hear the music, and it's just like, it's like we're back. You know what I mean? It's really nice. But yeah, the choice for the Requiem is just.
Yeah, I was gonna say because a lot of times, I think as a music editor, choosing between when you use original score versus licensed music is important. And with the sonic palette that Badalamenti was using with that string pad, the piano sound, and that was kind of it. Like it's pretty and then you've got like the walking bass thing with like the drums, almost the West Side Story type stuff.
The like Dale Cooper stuff.
That's like kind of it.
That's it.
So I don't know what he could have done with the sounds that he was using to make it sound within that world, but it would have been really hard to sell it. And so I think, including a needle drop right there is a really genius move because it really sells it. And it's so much more tragic.
It makes it feel like a Shakespeare tragedy almost. Like it's like, oh my gosh. Like, this is like very important, and it's like.
Yeah, so I thought that was an excellent decision.
And it makes you think of like the angelic kind of like symbolism kind of stuff there.
Yeah.
Just like subconsciously in
and
my head.
it returns at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the credits.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the same Requiem.
I think it is, yeah.
But
I think
it
it's just a
probably
different
is,
excerpt
yes,
from it,
yes.
but yeah, man.
Um,
Lynch is a genius, yeah.
wait, so what do you... Wait, I want to hear your thoughts on the David Bowie stuff.
Oh, that's a great scene. That's peak Lynch. I was going to ask when you wanted to get into the formalism, but, you can't... That whole David Lynch sequence. Some of the... Okay, this is... I've only seen three Lynch films, but,
we need to rank them.
Some of Lynch formalism is completely integral to the plot, and you need to watch very closely. And some of it is just him being weird.
Yep, definitely.
To,
and that's off-putting to some people, which I totally
type
understand.
Stuff where he's just creating atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think that's what the David Bowie stuff falls under, and I'm here for it because it was awesome.
Yeah,
I don't really think it has any effect.
Well, like I said, there's some stuff in the
Easter
return,
eggs,
but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, Gordon Cole, played by David Lynch. This is cool. Oh, we see Cooper, and then it's like Cooper starts walking in front of the camera, and it's like, what the heck is going on? And then the elevator opens, and you just see David Bowie walking out. It's like, what the heck is this?
It's so cool.
Why is David Bowie in this film?
It's like seeing Einstein and Oppenheimer.
It's like the greatest cameo ever. But it's.
And it's like his mouth is bleeding, and then
we're not gonna talk about Judy, and it's like we don't know who Judy is.
Yeah,
we have never heard that name. This literally does not.
Is she the log lady?
Any sense?
I actually don't want to know.
No. Judy is. We don't know who that is.
That's crazy. But the sequence is incredible, though. And you get to see the old lady and the kid with the mask on, and then it's just weird.
And that the Garmon Bozia.
That isn't even really addressed. The people and the that's just Lynch being weird. We don't get any closure on what that is or what that means.
No, we never figure out what happens to Chet Desmond.
The closest thing is Garmon Bozia. We figure out what that means at the end. But
Pain and sorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's from the show. It's just the kind of soupy corn stuff.
Yeah, which is
it's like why does corn represent pain and sorrow? I have no idea.
That's still one of the funniest scenes ever, I think, in TV.
What?
Where the kid has the corn in his hand. What does he say? I laughed so hard when I saw it at first.
Wait, I let me look this up real quick. Also, I forgot about the what do you think about the James calling?
I hate James. I'm the number one
biggest James hater over here.
I am the president of the James Hater fan club. Well, James Hate Club, I guess, not fan club.
Garmon Bozia.
The anti-James club. That man is so milquetoast, so boring. But you gotta give him credit.
Yeah.
He's never once broken the mewing streak. That.
That kid is crazy.
He's an ambassador for Jazzercise, dude. That guy.
So no, I was gonna
chiseled by Michelangelo.
What do you think of James and Laura bringing up you act like a turkey or whatever, and then she's crying and she goes gobble gobble gobble. You remember that?
That was kind of weird. She was on coke then, right?
Yes, I believe.
Okay,
she was.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a bunch of.
That's
another thing though. I feel like coke is just a MacGuffin for Lynch to be oh, we can do weird stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? It's just
But she's on cocaine, so it makes sense.
Wait, I gotta.
I should have done the intro. Good morning. Today is Saturday, June 8th, 2024. Yeah, and it is currently 81 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
Oh, wait. Okay, apparently the cream corn, that's the Garmon Bozia. It's cream corn. Apparently that kid is David Lynch's son. It looks just like him. Doesn't it look just like him?
It does.
I never knew that.
Nepo baby.
It's because Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to find like what he says in the original, but he like explains that it's like magic.
It's like,
or
where is
whatever.
the corn?
Yeah, and it's like.
And then it disappears and appears in the kid's hands. One of the funniest scenes ever. Please do yourself the service of looking it up on YouTube.
It is.
It is.
Twin Peaks is
peak.
very funny.
Yeah.
It's a very funny show. So yeah, what do you think about the Garmon Bozia scene and the young boy and the grandmother and because I will say, if you go back and watch the show, it's explained a little bit what that stuff is, and then the return, like, it comes back to that, I will say, which is, like, really cool. And it like, it comes back to the Let's Rock guy. I can't remember his name. But
oh, yeah. The guy who talks backwards.
Yeah, the guy in the red room and stuff.
I don't know. Well, I mean, one, shooting from the hip here.
Yeah.
The old lady, she looks like she could be older than Leland, and then, the kid is pretty young. So I don't know if that represents like the generations of abuse or not. But I don't know about like the room and the masks.
The mask. I do think I love the scene where they appear to her when she's doing the Meals on Wheels, and she's like, "You have to hang up this picture frame," and then the kid's like, he's under the fan, like right now.
Yeah.
You remember that? And it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was crazy.
and then we get the scene like where she like goes into the picture frame and stuff. And
man, this movie's so good.
There's too much formalism for us to even.
Yeah, and the red and blue light.
The red and the blue and the white horse is obviously like really important. Like that's just very important to all of Twin Peaks.
I forgot. I don't quite remember when the white horse appears.
I don't.
Like in the show.
In the show, yeah. Wait, let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, this is like. There's so many levels. It really is the Twin Peaks iceberg because. You can be a fan of the show, whether you just take it as what it is at face value, or like you can really dissect some of the formalism that Lynch is kind of, leaving people with that he doesn't explicitly explain, except for a few things. I mean, the Garmon Bozia, he literally tells you what it is, but besides that, you're kind of left to your own devices.
Yeah. And I do want to shout out the sound design and stuff because there's a lot of those scenes.
That's what I wanted to say. Like all of a sudden, and once we get to Twin Peaks, the re-record makes him sound great.
yeah. And there's the scenes where they're in the roadhouse and you can't hear them.
Oh, it's
subtitled and stuff, and it's like
I was
very realistic and stuff like that.
I don't know if it was an interview or something. I was listening to an audio professional that was talking about club scenes.
Okay.
In movies and how they hate when you can hear the dialogue really well. And I don't know what the example was, but there was a recent film that made that decision of like having really loud music and where you can't hear the dialogue. I know that the Batman 2022, like Matt Reeves sort of did that, but there was another one I can't remember exactly what movie it was, but
I feel like we're like
it's a pretty rare
we're getting more of that, like kind of more of that
nice.
Realism and stuff, and like kind of But I mean, he was like, this is 92.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That's 30 years before 2022.
But that's a big reason why I love Lynch. He's always been on the forefront of sound, and he knows the importance of sound. And like his collaboration with Alan Splett and stuff, going back to Eraserhead and stuff. Like, we don't need to talk about the sound design of Eraserhead because we all know it's amazing. But and then like just the electricity sounds. There's so many reversed sounds throughout the film, and like the fan blades, like it just
even
creates,
the score.
like
some of the scores backwards.
Yeah, it just creates like a really, really unique atmosphere for the film.
Which is, I'm trying to remember. There's another score that came out recently that did that again. Recently, this like 30 years before, but. I'm trying to remember.
What, that's like reversed?
Yeah, that has... Oh, well, Tenet has some of that, yeah.
Yeah,
Duh.
yeah.
Where like you have to think about writing the notation backwards because obviously it's going to sound different when you.
Yes.
So, it's a lot to consider as a
trippy.
composer. It's impressive, but that's a cool layer of depth that reinforces the ideas like in the Red Room and just in the show in general.
Yeah. Okay, I found the White Horse stuff very quickly. So in the film, the White Horse materializes in Sarah's room. That's her mom. And that was occurring just as Leland was preparing to molest Laura.
Wow.
That's when that happens in the film.
Wait,
and,
like in.
Yeah.
Man.
So it obviously like.
But doesn't it appear in the show too?
Yes.
Isn't that right before like Leland dies or?
No, it's when.
Or is that it is happening again thing?
Let's see. No, I don't think it's that. Sarah crawled through the house trying to maintain consciousness. She was shocked to see the horse appear in their living room just before she passed out on the floor.
Sarah is Laura's cousin,
mom.
right?
Laura's mom.
Oh, Laura's mom. Okay.
While she was unconscious, Leland attacked and beat their niece Maddie to death. That's the cousin. So when Leland's killing Maddie, we see the horse.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And then
because that is also abuse.
And then Cooper sees it when he's trapped in the Red Room. The curtains lift, and there's a wind to reveal a white horse standing in the distance. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like,
yeah,
it's just kind of cool. Like I don't know what that means. It obviously means something, and I think it definitely means something to Lynch. I don't think he's just throwing stuff at the wall, which some people say, which is fine. I mean, I could see that for some of his stuff, but yeah, it's.
What do you think about the red and blue light? I think it's pretty binary as far as
I think it's just like I think we talked about this when we finished the show. I think like some of Lynch's stuff is really far out there formalism, and then some of it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like naming the villain Bob is just kind of like saying, hey, this could be anyone. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And I think like the red and blue stuff is just like good versus evil.
Yeah.
It's very like, because that's basically just like, that's how he views America, and that's how he's viewed America for a long time.
Even like, okay, I want to sort of on the same topic, but from a technical standpoint, the lighting, because you have to accomplish it like from a practical perspective. It's not. Yeah. This wasn't like just color grading in post.
No.
His use of lights in this film is incredible.
Very good.
One that stands out to me particularly is, well, obviously it's a Lynch film, so you're gonna have to have a scene where someone's singing.
Yeah.
At a restaurant or a bar. Yeah, and it's like the same type of. It's just. Yeah, there's a quota of at least one scene, but.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
So when we're at the Roadhouse and there's the woman singing, she's lit with a blue light, but behind her are the red curtains, which is just so cool.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's red and blue light all throughout. Like,
yeah,
It's weird. We don't go to One-Eyed Jacks at all.
Nope. And we don't, like I said, we don't see a lot of characters. We don't see Audrey. We don't see Ben. Because Ben Horn is a big character in the show.
We don't see Jack Nance's character, which is a big bummer.
Oh, yeah.
Very unfortunate. But
I can't remember his name, but yeah, I mean, the lighting is just amazing. And I think that obviously the singing and stuff is like, that's just very important to Lynch for some reason. I try to figure out what that means in every film.
You get it in Blue Velvet, you get it in
There's a scene in
Eraserhead.
There's a scene almost exactly like that in Mulholland Drive. And I will say every episode of The Return ends with someone singing at the diner. Yeah. This is very, very, very important to him. Like the most overarching thing to him is like someone just singing, and it's just kind of like this angelic, very slow thing.
And he's obsessed with innocence in this movie. That's like,
Yep.
We haven't even got to that yet.
And that the innocence thing is just stripped away.
Yeah, represented in so many facets. And I think the singing partially represents innocence as well.
Yeah,
with how it's sung and
yeah. What else?
I guess we could do the angel wings. I mean,
I'm trying. Yeah. What do you? Because
well, first there's that like allegory, or wait, no, it's not allegory. It's Laura talking. So it's Donna that asks her like, what would happen if you were floating in space? Would you
go slower and slower or faster and faster?
Yeah, and then
basically what
Laura said that she would just go faster and faster until she like explodes in a ball of fire or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is,
It's like, bro, what?
Yeah. And then somehow, and she mentioned like in that story that like, and even the angels would.
Let me look this up.
I can't remember. Yeah, I'm gonna let you do it.
Wait, give me a second.
I don't want to say it incorrectly.
Okay. The angels were being connected to the Red Room. That's just what this says. I'm on Twin Peaks fandom wiki. On February 16th, I like how they have the date.
Yeah.
When describing what falling down through space must feel like, Laura Palmer told her friend Donna that the angels wouldn't help her, quote, because they have all gone away. Will Hayward. Wait, who's that?
I don't know.
Who the heck is Will Hayward?
I was gonna say, but you've got to ask like about like who are Laura's angels? Like who was supposed to be in her corner that wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's Audrey's. Or no, that's Donna's dad. That's her doctor, Will Hayward.
Okay.
He tried to console a distraught Laura Palmer by reading her a fake prescription upon which he had written a secret message for her.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, this is from the show. The angels will return, and when you see the one that's meant to help you, you will weep with joy.
Is this in the return? Or is this
No, that's in the show.
Wait, really? I don't remember
Yes. And that dude, the ending.
Where there's the angel?
And she's crying.
What
and
episode
she's doing what the?
I didn't even see. There's so much. We're real time, people.
I will say.
We're figuring this out in real time.
I had seen every Twin Peaks thing before me and Ethan watched the show, like the original. And I will say there's stuff in the show that's like, I was like, oh, that's explained in episode 10 of The Return and stuff. Like it's like Lynch has to have like a book of like every single thing, and everything's connected.
It's the opposite of Harry Potter.
Yes. It's like he knew what was gonna happen before.
Yeah.
It's not the.
What's that example?
What's another like really bad example?
I don't know. I'm thinking of an example. There's the one that like the creator really got burned for.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Yes. Wait, no, it might have been that. Where they say like they've had the vision from the outset, like from the beginning, and there's just no way. It might have been Stranger Things because obviously they have
they said that about Stranger Things because he was like, we knew it was gonna be 5 seasons all along. And they said the same thing about Kung Fu Panda too.
See, no.
But that's just people fronting.
It's just
that's
so apparent when it is and when it isn't happening. Lynch is just his world building is fantastic.
But yeah, so going back to the angel.
Yeah.
So Laura had a painting where with an angel serving food to 3 children, and then the night where she dies, she saw the angel in the painting disappear. She sees it disappear. Oh.
Man, that's crazy.
Later. Okay, wait.
I don't know how people could not like this movie, man. The more I talk about it, the better it seems to me.
Later that evening, when Laura went to visit her boyfriend, his father Garland was in the living room, reading out loud passages from the book of Revelation. Amidst the passages he read, 2 mentioned the angels. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and cast it into the great winepress. And another passage citing the appearance of, quote, 7 angels.
7, yeah.
Yeah. And then when she's in the train car when she's dying.
What episode was that, though?
Ronette
was that season 1 or season?
Dude, I don't know. It doesn't say. That might be from the Return, but I don't think it is. It can't be.
Yeah.
And then Ronette in the train car like is having the visions of the angel. which is weird that it's
Yeah.
Ronette
Mm-hmm.
having the visions. And then, obviously, at the very end of the film, Laura is in the Red Room with Cooper.
Yeah.
And Angel appears, and she begins crying and then laughing. And I feel like that is just like
Peak
she's
formalism.
so relieved.
It's peak
like,
formalism. Yeah.
It's like all like that is all of Twin Peaks right there, like in that final scene.
It's so tragic because her only reprieve from like the abuse that she was facing, and like the abuse from both Leland and like her own like substance abuse, and
self-inflicted
just
kind of.
You know, the life that she was leading, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, the positions that she put herself in. That the only rescue from that was death. As sad as that is,
dark.
Yeah.
Dude, that I mean,
But that's a common thing though. You see that with like people, who have been abused like that, and that's
yeah.
yeah.
And that's just like
Unfortunately, it's
that's just Lynch
a
just
shared sentiment,
being
yeah.
like, yeah, this is not a campy show anymore. The innocence is gone. This is real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I feel like I saw a video where someone was talking about this once. I feel like in Lynch's earlier films, there's hope and optimism and good characters, and then they kind of undercover darkness. I feel like this is the opposite.
Yeah.
It's darkness, and they're trying to uncover, like, hope and light.
Yeah.
Because, like, Blue Velvet is kind of the opposite of this. It's, like, just two teenager, normal kids, like, and then they, like, figure out, like, they lose their innocence.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is kind of the opposite of that, which is cool. But, yeah, I don't know. That's...
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, we got to do our...
There's so much.
I want to hear you rank the... What the heck was that? Sorry, my phone just went off. I want to hear you rank the Lynch films that you've seen.
Oh no, I've only seen 3. Okay. I'm gonna put. Man, it's tough. Okay. I'll preface this by saying I have Blue Velvet at a 4.5.
Okay,
I think I'll only enjoy it more upon further watches, but
Okay.
I can
that's good.
put it
I thought-
last pretty
Okay,
confidently.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Eraserhead last.
No.
I was scared. Okay.
No. I'd say Blue Velvet last, Eraserhead second, Fire Walk with Me
Fire Walk.
first. Yeah.
Okay. We will. I would expect a Mulholland Drive episode soon
Okay.
for the pod.
Nice. Yeah.
For all those listening out there, we definitely got to run that up because I think I've said this before, but for how much I love Fire Walk with Me, I think Mulholland is his magnum opus. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to like hype it up
Yeah.
too much, but it really is. It's one of those where it's like all of the directors, all the critics know, like that's the one.
I remember, like, I thought about watching that like 2 years ago, back like in sophomore year before I'd seen any Lynch, and I just think that probably would have been a terrible decision
That would have been something.
with no context. Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
It is. But you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Because my first Lynch was Eraserhead.
That's the
And-
best one to start with, though.
Yeah, but that is quite an odd
It's
film.
challenging. Yeah.
It is odd. It's the good thing about it is it's short.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 90 minutes, or it's less. Than
It's also
90
a good
minutes.
intro into like just his style, but
his psyche
he's
and
figuring out
mind,
like
yes.
yeah, it's really him just experimenting.
Talk about something feeling like a short film.
yeah,
That feels like it was thrown together on a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
But it's still amazing. But yeah, I guess
cool.
that's it.
What do we got down the pipeline?
Well, we're gonna start a new series called Tarkovsky Tuesdays. I
Yeah.
guess. Let's go. Where we're gonna be reviewing a Tarkovsky film every week.
Well, we're reviewing or discussing. We're not going to watch Tarkovsky.
Oh,
I don't know if we
not
can.
watch.
I don't know if
Did
we
I
can
say
commit to
watch?
that. I think you said viewing a Tarkovsky film.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no, talking about it. We're not gonna be sitting down, and we're not gonna be
We're going to be watching Andrei Rublev every day.
live reaction to
Yeah.
Andrei Rublev now. But yeah, we're gonna go through all his films, and probably in chronological-ish order,
Yeah,
something like that. I think we're undecided if we're gonna do Ivan, so we might just start with Rublev.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want a full episode for Ivans. But
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We could just do like a pre on the Andre.
Yeah.
Or something.
We got to do Rublev. Yeah, we'll do
no.
Rublev sometime
Well,
soon.
Rublev's like exciting.
Yeah.
All of them are exciting, other than maybe Ivan's.
Yeah, I need to like watch like a recap on Rublev because it's so long.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But yeah,
But that's what we got. And then
Mason's got a list.
in terms of, and then I think
Maybe
we
Furiosa.
We might be getting Jacob.
Yeah, possible Jacob appearance, cameo,
Shout out Jacob.
late June. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like, what was the movie we were? Birth.
Well, Birth. We see that Belcourt. Shout out Belcourt.
But
It's doing like a
then-
30 millimeter or 35 millimeter
35 millimeter.
showing of Jonathan Glazer's Birth, which is like, let's go. Yeah.
None of us have seen it.
Yeah.
And then
We need
Kinds
to do
of Kindness.
Kinds of Kindness. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Jacob's a huge,
New Yorgos film.
big Yorgos guy. So we're gonna do that. But yeah, we need to do like Under the Skin or Sexy Beast, one of the two. Cause yeah.
We never did Zone of Interest either.
Are you serious?
Or did we?
Wait,
I don't think we did.
we didn't do a Zone of Interest.
Wait.
Did we not?
Guys, this is bad. We can't even remember if we did this.
No, we
I don't
definitely
think-
didn't do Zone of Interest.
I don't think we did.
There's so much to talk about.
Because we never did Zone of Interest, and we never did. We never did Tenet either.
Oh no! Oh man, we got so much catching up. That we'll have to do a Tenet
And
episode when Jacob gets back.
we also apologize for very falsely advertising that we were going to do Amazing Spider-Man 2 because that just never happened.
It'll happen someday. We will get the Dahan episode.
We'll get around to it.
Yeah. Life is crazy.
But yeah,
like
be looking out. We're going to start doing more.
Yeah.
We'll be active.
So thank you again for tuning in. I really hope that people listen to this one, but the barrier to entry is pretty steep. So
it's kind of tough.
yeah. So maybe we'll catch you on the next one. But
You haven't seen it.
if it's under Rublev, I don't even know if we'll see you. So to our two listeners that have seen both of these, thank you so much. Hang in there. And Mason, if you want to see us out,
Roll that outro music.
thank you.